Some managers and leaders don't know how to address people that understand their work style. And some don't understand it, and some do understand it, and they are intimidated by it. And here's how, and this is not talked about a lot, but one of the ways I improved as a manager and a leader is I learned my own productivity patterns. And once I was intentional about my own productivity patterns and how I am most productive day to day and what my work style is, I was able to share that with my team. So, one of the things that you can do is um, know and understand when are you most productive. When look back, over a week or 2 weeks maybe, and think about. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee this morning, but it's okay. I'm gonna get through this video. Um, think about when you were most productive. What was going on? What was the atmosphere like? What was going on with you that day? How you were feeling, if you can remember, right? Think about when you're most productive, and try to replicate that. Organize your tasks according to your peak performance times. When I wake up in the morning, I like to have my coffee. I like to think through things. Normally, the day before, I've written down a list of things that I need to do, whether in my personal life or professional. And I follow along that list. Now, sometimes I have to jump off of that list just because life knows how to life, and I need to jump off of that list. But I do my best to set myself up for success day by day by creating those lists. And so, organize your tasks according to your peak performances, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, what have you. Use tools that align with your preference. For example, many of us have to use things like Outlook, but are there other things? I was just sharing with one of my newest staff that they can use Planner. Is right there in the Microsoft Suite. They can also send themselves reminders in their calendar. They can set up time with themselves to work through different projects. Put that on your calendar. I cannot stress that enough. It's so simple. I think that it's underrated. Schedule time with yourself to think through projects, do projects, actually get the physical work done. Because if you're in meetings a lot of the times, like me, for more than 50% of the day, you need to schedule time to do work. So, using tools that align with your preference, things like that. Salesforce, Monday.com, Workday, Trello. I don't know if Trello is still a thing, but use those tools to help you be more productive. And then clearly communicate with your manager how you work. I've had a couple of people on my team tell me, "Hey, I have ADHD," and so I know what that is. But then I needed to take responsibility to research a little bit around if there's anything that I could do to help them work better, right? Are there any accommodations that they needed? And of course, I just asked that outright. Do you have any accommodations? One of them told me yes. And I was able to accommodate what they needed for that. Now, it doesn't mean that they get to not do their work or any of that, but I can make accommodations around that diagnosis to help them be at peace at work and be productive at work. And so, clearly communicate with your manager and your teammates around how you work best. I had to clearly communicate with my team how I am most productive. And, for example, if I send out an email, um, what my expectation on the turnaround is on that email. I couldn't just assume that, they would know, hey, this is an urgent email, or this is a 24-hour email, or this is the next week email. And so I had to really start doing that and giving people those types of deadlines so that they could respond in a timely manner. That was something that I had to do. I couldn't just assume that they would know that, right? And that not only opened up the lines of communication, and also, gave them the same authority to say, hey, I work like this. This is what best works for me. And then I saw communication laterally amongst team members saying, hey, I work like this, or I work like that. And that helped my team quite a bit. And now we can't always accommodate everybody's work style in the moment, but we can have a bird's eye view of how people are working and try to accommodate that. And the same for ourselves, right? People can accommodate how we work, right? For example, if it has a longer agenda, of course you need a Teams meeting. If it doesn't, if it's just a couple of things, do an email, a text, right? Pop it in the Teams chat, right? We don't need to meet you don't need to create a half an hour meeting for something that's going to take 5 minutes. Don't do that. We don't do that around here. Okay, thank you. And what else? I think the last thing is balance your work style with strategic planning to ensure that you're honoring yourself and you're meeting your outcomes. So I just really wanted to share that today because it's kind of where I have been. I've really been learning to honor my work style. And I have found that I am so much more productive and I'm so much more at peace. And now that may not work with your manager, that may not work with your leadership team, but I think it's worth a conversation with your manager or leadership team versus you just continuing to be frustrated because you're trying to work like everybody else or do things like everybody else. Now again, if people are not going to, I'm not saying use this as a crutch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are things that I have tweaked in my work style that have helped me. For example, say we have 15-minute breaks, right? Most people have 2 15-minute breaks throughout the day. Well, I need a 5-minute break now, so I'm going to take that. I'm not talking about a bathroom break. I'm just talking about like a walk break, right? So I may do 3 walk breaks versus just take a full 15-minute break. And that's a small accommodation to take when it helps you to clear your mind and be more productive, right? Still getting my work done, still getting the job done, still making myself available to my team. So just look at your work style to help you better get your work done. And that's what I want to share today as a manager and as a leader. So I hope you have a great Monday, and we made it through the video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.